Something that certainly did come out and it was very apparent about this Botswana side is how tough they were and are in the game against Malawi. Yes, they got the draw, but it was more about the battle between them physically and Malawi. So much so, a lot of the ladies were taking hits out there, and it's no surprise then that the likes of Ditebe as well as Masutu amongst those injured starters in the last game has given the coach a chance to rotate the squad and keep things moving. But, in your picture, Mtamente is one the Tanzanians will very much be aware of from a scoring point of view. Just scored the one in the match against Malawi and could have, maybe should have scored at least two in that match. Decision against Sichani. Early ball here. Get to see Tanzania and the threat they can pose with the ball and just looking to do a control play in the early stages so far. Both these sides are just feeling each other out. If you are just joining us here in the early exchanges, Botswana with it out wide, looking to bring it in field and battle on in the middle of the park. Tanzania's turn here to try and grab a hold of the ball. Good work to work it out wide then to Aisha, who went down the line in search of Christian. Now, good movement here, and there could be an opening if maybe the first-time shot was taken, as is the case now. Keeper got a slight touch, and the save good enough to see that ball coming off the post and back into the arms of a grateful keeper. Oh, like it, sharp play out in the attacking areas from Enekia. Lunyamila, the last name, to Enekia Lunyamila. Then wasting little to no time in asking questions of Mukime. Bami Mukime between the sticks. With the first field save in the match. Now, all in here. It's Botswana to battle in the air. First couple of headers won by them. A wing it was who won the headers, but nothing came of it. Here on the near side, there's the pace of Aisha, which is the problem. Put down there. Set piece to the Tanzanians. Goes over to the far side. Now, a couple of ladies, in fact, more than that, on the edge of the box here that couldn't profit from the ball coming back in. So here they are again looking to build our Tanzania. And they're here to keep it alive here. Again, she does have a couple in that box. The header is initially there. There could be a chance still here fashioned by the Tanzanians, but for the determination of Botswana defensively. Picking up the pieces in the middle of the park. Radiacanyo. Botswana guilty of being wasteful with possession here. So Tanzania will look to use the width of the field as they bring it over to this near side with Enekia. Good movement off the ball down the line here as they look to stretch that defense. Nicely involved in is Diana wearing the number 11 jersey as they look to create to this near side. They'll settle for the throw in. Aisha with a chance to whip in the early cross. Happy to settle for the corner. So Botswana have had the scare here with the ball that's come off the post. Ngime, vocal, and they're looking to organize inside her box, then ensuring every lady in the colors of Tanzania is picked up. Evidence of the winds and the difficulties it's providing here. So, earlier on, great movement. I thought the shot was on initially then. Didn't quite happen for them, but how's that for the shot that's come off the post then? Thanks to the save from the keeper. Did well to get down low quickly with a little time to react. Showing good reflexes. Again, Tanzania looking to open things up here as they try and use the width of the field. It's unwise to their intentions. Still, no denying Tanzania the forward movement as they get the set piece in a very good area here. A challenge, wondering if there'll be a card. In fact, it's a final warning for Abueng. Now, Tanzania, having come close on one occasion, will look to take advantage from the dead ball here. Up and over, looking for the tip. And tip enough in the end. The effort, it's come in from Diana. Say what the last name. Tanzania coming forward again. A couple of ladies getting in the box, and in the end, I'm wondering if they got in each other's way then. First time attempt. Not a bad idea from Sarah. There's some football for Fountain Gate out in Tanzania. Does Diana Msawa? The only that plays for Fountain Gate inside this starting 11. There's one other that represents the club. Make that two that are on the bench from a Tanzanian point of view. Trying to move, showed very little in attack thus far in this game. Looking to get on the front foot. Immediately, the Tanzanians able to frustrate them in that regard, but forward come the lady in sky blue again. As well, the defending once again is superb. It's staying goal side here, not allowing the space to have the cross delivered. Nice work in defense then from Anastasia Antunzi. And this Botswana still looking to create their first real chance of the game, and they haven't quite panned out, but they'll look to keep their opponents on the back foot here. And well, it's carelessly given away. Then it might needed much better care. The pass from None Kaufetoche. There's the captain, Radio Gagno, with the ball infield in as Botswana again look to fashion a chance for themselves. Again, coming in straight down the middle hasn't proven profitable for them. Now need to worry about a possible counter-attack from the Tanzanians. Solid challenge. Taking no chances defensively then with that challenge. There's George. George is joining us here beyond the 10-minute mark. It's worth noting that the wind is a strong factor here in this afternoon's tie. As Botswana work it wide, again a couple of ladies in the box. The ball in isn't bad, and the attempt to connect with it was impressive. Just out of reach in the end. Keeper seemed to have strayed a bit into no man's land. Then fortunate, nothing bad came of the situation for the Tanzanians. Push forward here onto this near side and shut off. And here's a chance. It's a great chance. What a superb save as Botswana survived yet another scare. Well, for Bame Mugime, it's yet another blinder of a save, a second of the match. Turning into quite a battle between herself and Opa Tukumbuge, wearing the number 10 jersey. I said earlier, Tukumbuge came off the post after the save then from Bame Mugime. Strong here in the challenge against the defender, set it up onto that left foot, but keeper came out in a flash and made herself huge. Early on, was that attempt on the near post, and just seconds later, Botswana were worrying about a counter-attack. So, it's happening in this match. One getting the feeling it's only a matter of time until we get the opener. Love the skill. Good touch. The pace as well here for Botswana. In the end, the shot from some distance and the angle also adding to the difficulty level in the attempt to find her second of the tournament. Ntamete. He is impressive with her pace. Ntamete, who plays the tough football for double action out in Botswana. Ball in, dealt with, but not effectively enough. There could be another opportunity here for the Tanzanians. Looking to set it up here. Botswana very quick to get numbers behind the ball and eventually deal with the danger. Now it's Botswana to look to launch a counter. Not allowed to do so. Getting moments is the lady in your picture. Up to this point, it's the battle between herself and Bame Mugime. And Mugime has done a stunning job of frustrating Opa Tukumbuge. Tukumbuge playing her club football for Simba Queens, one of the two big sides in DA. There's Simba, then there's Younger as well. They share a stadium. Their derbies are worth catching if you get out to that part of the world. In the meantime, here is Tanzania once again. Ball in and nearly a cross-come shot that could have troubled the goalkeeper then. Out for the goal kick, however. It's on the far side. Tanzania building nicely on the far side. Three already inside the box awaiting the cross. So the wins a huge talking point here, and we heard the Botswana coach speaking to Mbali before this game got underway, mentioning that her players would need to keep the ball on the ground and, of course, trying to deal with that win factor. And looking out at both the sides, the stronger, maybe taller of these two sides is hard to separate, but one could argue a case for Tanzania in that regard. They are keeping the ball and looking to use their wings rather well are the Tanzanians. They needed a bit of ball from their captain, Amina, on that question on that occasion. Amina Bilali wearing the number 4 on her back. A younger princess. Papa under pressure with 3 ladies around her, showing great strength with her ability to hold it up and force the throw in the way of Tanzania. Did have a chance to maybe interact just a bit with the Tanzanian ladies before this match got underway much earlier on in the day. As soon as they'd arrived, a few of them were out in the stands, and it was between games while we awaited this particular game, and before they had their moments out in the change room. As I was out at one of our camera positions out at the top of the grandstand, I had to go past them, and they all proved to be a very nice young bunch of ladies with the way they initiated the greetings and ended up wishing them luck for the game up ahead. And they were all very friendly and kind, polite as well. Which was the funniest part of the exchange was hearing a few of them go shop shop at the end of it all. Clearly enjoying their time down in South Africa and learning a few of the South African ways and exchanges socially. Wondering if it is a frustrating start to the day so far here for the strike force for Botswana. Implemented with little to work with, and well, defensively there are problems here. It's gone out for the corner, but they look to have serious problems. In fact, it's gone out for the goal kick, I should say. So the last touch of a Tanzanian flag has stayed down. So straight over the top, not dealt with. Suddenly, all sorts of problems popping up. Now, Botswana looking to get in behind that defense. That challenge is a legal one here. It's a lot of the ball and a lot of the opponent as well. The Aisha Nunga wearing the number 9 jersey. She absolutely flew in wholeheartedly into that challenge. The other player that plays for Simba Queens in this Tanzanian starting 11. There are 4 in total. Well, down the line here. Good work to keep it alive. Space. What with a nice bit of skill. Confident. Tanzania with the ball at their feet. Technically very sound. Pressure applied here. We're going to force the issue for Botswana and very nearly doing so and winning it back in the great area. The ball in had to be dealt with by Tanzania as well. As they look to move it upfield. Botswana getting to the punch first. Hoping to have the opportunity to pull the trigger. The defense just able to work it away in the nick of time. Now, good movement on the far side. Bit of pace coming into the game here. As Tanzania again look to find those openings, force those openings. Lovely work with the ball in. Oh, the defensive touch was important. Shot still coming in. Had power. Just over. Plenty of power in that shot coming in then from Aisha Nunga. Lovely skill from the captain. She certainly does have game. Does Bilali, the captain, shot eventually coming in then from the Simba Queens lady. A few inches lower, and they could have been celebrating still. Tanzania with the much better chances. Not much to speak of in that regard from Botswana if you are joining us here. But a good game. It need to be said, yeah, good quality football between these ladies, even with the conditions being what they are in the wind and the factor it's providing here in yet another dimension into this match. Are playing a very good brand of football. The Tanzanian ladies here, of course, representing the Sekafa region, the East, where they battle with the likes of Kenya. They, in that region, have had their problems in trying to get their region active on a yearly basis, which is the case for COSAFA, both in the men's and in the ladies' version of the game. The COSAFA region has been up and going after the Sekafa region. There have been problems, but they also do have a Sekafa club championship, which is also interesting. Been fortunate enough to cover that in years gone by, and certainly does get support from the fans whenever it is alive and kicking. Challenge for them is getting the competitions running regularly on a yearly basis. There are major gaps in between the years at times. But of late, they've seemingly gotten things together over the last few years, and things are looking as though they are moving in the right direction in the Sekafa region and ensuring their region is active and developing. Keeper taking command. Problem here is one of the ladies is struggling. Worry here is whether it's the ankle or not. That's the major problem for Bailete. Plays for Prisons 11. Well, they do have the stretcher out there to take care of Nancy Bailete. In the meantime, yep, the numbers, as you'd expect for the afternoon game, have increased somewhat here. The weather maybe keeping a few away at home here. Nice to see those that have braved the conditions, that are out to enjoy what has up to this point been a good game of football, minus the goals. Well, Botswana will hope to assess the situation with Bailete and decide quickly whether she can continue with the game or not. In order to make the change, reason I say that is they are continuing with 10 ladies on the field. All in, keepers come out and claimed impressively. What a game she's had up to this point. Bame Mugime plays for double action. I've seen plenty of action so far in this match. A couple of blinding saves. And dealing with that in the air seems to have caused a bit of pain here. Maybe she came down painfully. Let's have a look. Battle between herself and Opa Tukumbuge continues. As you can see, Tukumbuge okay and able to continue. Now, we spoke about the aerial battles in this encounter, especially taking into consideration the height here, and there's a header missed for Botswana with Untamete flying in, and problems there in dealing with that led to a chance created for Tanzania. Up and able to continue. Good sign for Botswana. Distance on the ball upfield as well here as their teammates pick up the pieces up on top of that box and, try and force the issue, but still find the going tough in creating opportunities. Another worrying factor will be the that one of theirs is down at the top of that box. Good news is the stretcher won't be necessary. Ball into the near post. Well defended. Now Botswana still asking questions of Tanzania. Shot eventually going well wide of the mark. Again, chase on. Will it be a corner for Botswana? The answer is no. Goal kick in favor of Tanzania. We've passed half an hour's play here. And Botswana will be happy with the fact that they've been able to keep it at 0-0 with Tanzania having the bulk of the chances. Yet to really create a clear-cut opportunity for themselves. Botswana has the might and have worked hard in trying to undo this Tanzanian side. So keep in mind, this will be the very last game at the Madiba Stadium used at this year's tournament. Now, that's all a dangerous one from Botswana. There's a definite shove here. And we'll go with the yellow card. Look to pick up the card here for a clear shove on the back of the opponent that's seen Aisha Nunca lose her footing. After Botswana were dangerous with the ball across the field, and that was intercepted by Mnungwa. Tanzania drilling one in, way too close to the keeper, shown class here today. Confident with the pickup. Also, it's quite some distance with those balls upfield, forcing some work to come out of the central defenders and dealing with that. Well, I was mentioning it is our last game here at the Madiba Stadium for this year's tournament. We will be moving on to the Isaac Wilson Stadium. Have been some memorable games at this venue and memorable days, none more than the day where we've had the most supporters, which was on Saturday. Yeah, and there was a lovely bit of weather on Saturday, sunny day, hardly any wind. Supporters out on that far grandstand top of your picture. To top it all off, South Africa in action on the day, playing great football, scoring 5 goals. The fans really getting involved. It's a beautiful venue. We hope to visit on another day in the future. Botswana play one in there. In Tanzania, able to deal. Captain involved then in trying to keep it moving then. But her pass well intercepted. Botswana again that looked for a bit of joy on this near side. Decision going against Ongameze. Again, maybe a little bit frustrated at the lack of opportunities that have befallen her and her teammates. She herself a double action player out in Botswana. Strong play by Rayeganyo as Botswana look to again get some joy on this near side and the challenge a strong one on Untamete. Taking the time before deciding to show the card. Oh, starts showing challenge right on the knee. Nasty challenge that. And in the end, no card shown, which will be extremely lucky for Krista Bahera. Extremely lucky with the Zambian referee, then Gloria Sambumba, choosing not to take any action. Nasty challenge it was on Untamete. Wow, she really has thought about it here and giving it plenty of thought before eventually showing the yellow card. So Bahera goes into the referee's book eventually for that challenge. Plays for Fountain Gate back home in Tanzania. Kaunadiwi Untlamete is leaving the field here. Just keeping an eye on her. She doesn't look comfortable at all here. She will do well to come back onto the field. Now, overhead won't cause problems. Still just keeping an eye on Untameti outside of your picture. Having a bit of water and looking as though she will be coming back onto the field in the very near future, which is a great sign. Great for Botswana. Once I say that, they do have a lady down top of your picture whom I do suspect will be getting back up on her feet in the very near future, and more need for the game to be brought to a halt. I could be wrong. Oh, the referee quickly making a way over to that far side of the field, checking on the situation. All's well for Aubing. And for the coach, then there would have been a serious worry with Undameti off the field and the other striker being down. And she is involved now. Good touch as Botswana look to get the numbers rolling. Bit of a stop-start affair for the time being. Yet another foul is given away here by Tanzania. Well, appeals from one or two of the Botswana ladies in the end. Happy to clear. Najat Idrisa, goalkeeper for Tanzania. Well, we are going into the last 5 minutes of this game. It's quieting down just a bit over the last 5 to 10 minutes. Reason being the injuries and the stop start to the games with some of the ladies needing attention, such as Undameti, who needed a few minutes after that field for attention, taking a bit of the fight out of the game here. No chances being taken down. The last thing Botswana will need after the first half where they survived a good few chances thanks to the abilities of their goalkeeper Bame Mukime. Last thing they'll want is to make a defensive error that'll lead to a goal scored. They won't want to give Tanzania anything at all. Shaima Bakari watching on the Tanzanian coach. Of course, through the opportunities missed by his side here, but will be of the hope that his side can create more in the second half. What will be crucial will be his halftime chat with the ladies then for Botswana. They have once again proven a stubborn side to have to deal with. That comes as no surprise. What they want to do is just sharpen their attack a bit coming out into the second. If things stay this way, of course, going into the halftime break, there still could be a goal scored. Which way that goal will come from, if it is to come, is anyone's guess right now. Pull in. He is one of the better players in the first half. Bame Mugime. Straight as the last line of defense for Botswana in this first half. Played her part, really. Up to her teammates now to try and work their magic up on the other side of the field. Hardly put a foot wrong. Decision making spot on, and when to play it out from the back, when to send it upfield. She's and just about everything right now. Could be something on here. Ultimately looking for pace as the recovery then is top notch in the pace department. Corner it will be for Botswana. That ball overcooked, giving nobody chance of getting onto the end of it. Wasted corner really from Radi Agano. Double action captain unable to find a teammate then, and the teammate to pay here with that Tanzania looking to find a yard for the shot. It eventually comes in. The numbers back in defense stand Botswana in good stead. Good movement off the ball here. Closely watched defensively, but the defense doing enough to secure the goal kick. Botswana could have enough time here to make something happen with what could be their best attack of this first half. Smash the paint. Yeah. Pirates. In this Tanzanian setup. Bitter. Corner. The attachment. And well, there you have it. End of the first half here. In the first half where there aren't any close calls between these two sides. So there's still plenty to play for coming out of the second half of the Tanzania. So it's about the chances created that they weren't able to convert. The reason for that is they weren't missing those chances. All about the same name by Bane Mugibe, who is the outstanding player of the half for me, and the reason why this game is still at no more. For Botswana, stubborn as ever, and proving to be the tactical opponent you have to give extra against to get the better off. At the end of the first half, there's still plenty to play for in the way of the three-point struggle. It's Botswana, no. Tanzania, no.
Globally, 85% of infertility is because of infections, typically the chlamydia and the gonorrhea.
Your time is up. Thank you so much.
Okay. Since I've been mentioned, I can react to what comment in the chat.
Yes.
I haven't finished my point.
Remember,
No, let me finish my point so that my brother can.
Does the Patriotic Front know the kind of damage they have done to our economy and to our country? I do not.
The alleged abduction of Pamela Kisupa, and this case has really kept us on our toes. And in as much as
nobody has been acquitted from this new dawn administration cases that have been started. There's nobody that has been acquitted. Okay.
CJ, foreplay. I'm not talking about jump and begin acting like a kangaroo. No, foreplay. Many of us as Africans, we lack this virtue. This is not there.
Yeah, the time project ku Malabo. What's about the first game toilet jana wa Senegal. I think very tutasana underrated because even the home up, you can see the way they are doing home up. Bare munagati bora na wawina kale nyoko.
It's actually good if you start creating competition in the team. If you don't create competition, then you will have a problem who to replace when one is injured.
I think the names people have been calling me, I accepted them and I welcomed them. But what I would prefer being called as a nickname, I would prefer being called Sambalung.
Between Botswana and Tanzania. Only question is, which of these two sides will open the scoring first? The one that comes closest in a good number of occasions then is Tanzania. And the yellow and black, if you aren't familiar with them, they create a chance for some good ones here. And
Ubuntu is a tradition that man, or indeed a human being, is born in. Naturally, we are born with Ubuntu. We live with it. We come into this world with that.
Ubuntu ninshira iyo abantu basenderamu ifyo umuntu afwiri okuba n'efyo afwiri okukita n'efyo afwiri okwikaliramu Ubuntu.
Ubuntu chitemiko, Ubuntu mutende.
Ubuntu nkukhala pamozi. Ubuntu nikusama. Ubuntu nikukondana.
The desire to contribute to positive changes within rural communities is my strong motivation to work hard for my society. For me, that is Ubuntu.
Ubuntu means humbleness. Ubuntu means humility. Ubuntu means love.
Ubuntu is I'm a person because of a person. I'm really a person. I'm who I am because of who we are.
What Ubuntu means to me is the ability to look at the need of others and be able to put yourself in their position, be able to do something about it.
We're going to be offering some of our viewers more content. And apart from more content, we are going to expect our viewers to be participating more, and then we want also our viewers to also like our channel.
Yes,
And
they should like it on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and also on YouTube. And not to forget that our content is reliable. It's not fake news. We do not have fake news on this channel.
At Tanzania, defending champions. There's so many different teams here that bring different things.
Thank you, Mbali. You know, this encounter of the 2022 version has been a great eye-opener. Us coming back from the COVID, but also, you know, the teams, what they brought in, it's very different to what we have expected. Like you mentioning Comoros coming back this year, mentioning also Lesotho coming back this year, also Mauritius coming back this year, which means that the 14 countries are coming together. And I think this is impacted by the fact that we're actually leading at CAF, having two teams going for the World Cup. Now, with regards to the groups, we've seen different types of approaches coming from the teams, especially when you look at the formations might be the same, but the tactical approach is different altogether, where you see teams like South Africa using fullbacks in attack, trying to gain numerical superiority. And then you find teams like the Tanzanians that you've seen just now, the same as Lesotho. They're very strong. They have very strong triangulation going forward. And also they connect well with the strikers. They rotate the ball very well as well. And also we're looking at Zambia, which we actually decided as the TSG that we will declare Banda a free kick specialist in this tournament because she managed to score 3, you know, out of 4, and which were standard, set pieces that she took outside the penalty area. Can you imagine that distance that she had to cover and the power behind that? And fourthly, Sam, the number 9 from South Africa, the youngest player. She is contending for top goal scorer with the Rabales and the Chawingas. So there has been a lot that has been happening. And also defensively, we were also impressed by the number 6 of Comoros, the captain, good aerial presence, good game reading, good anticipation. So we are glad to say that this is not going to be easy, especially in this group, which is Group C, to decide who will go forward. Because remember, Malawi drew on their first match with Botswana. During that match was the most physical match because it also had a lot of cautions and a lot of injuries that came out, and forced substitutions contributed to that. So now we are saying, as TSG, this tournament is going to bring a lot of surprises. And remember, the goals that have been scored, we are on 12 on match 12, but I can say close to 36, 37 goals have been scored already. So this is very good.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's start with Group A. When you look at, yes, you spoke about Ulitemba Sam being one of the young players there. And I mean, even picking up that player of the match award. You
Yes.
look at Angola as well. You look at Mozambique. There's so many contenders when you look at Group A. But what has been outstanding about that group?
What has been outstanding with that group is also the resilience of South Africa, them standing out. Remember, they didn't bring their A team, so one would have expected that maybe the standard would drop, but they are still scoring. I mean, also they are linking up well. And then secondly, Mozambique, they were in the same group as South Africa last year. They've shown a great improvement. The way they are playing, the way they are combining in the middle, their wing play is very excellent. You know, so these are the things that we want to see also going forward. Instead of having teams sitting back in defense, not doing anything, just waiting to play on a counter, we're seeing different approaches. That's what we are liking this far. And then going to Group B, the Tanzania, I mean Zambia. You're looking at Eswatini. You're looking at Namibia. You know, also the presence of Zenata coming back to Namibia, it has given them that impetus to go forward, and also the fighting spirit has grown. Because now, remember last year, Namibia only scored one goal, and now this year, yesterday they scored more goals than last year. And then looking at Eswatini, when they left the competition, they didn't even have a goal. So, but last year, coming from their number 22, they found a goal. So we are improving as a region because of the fact that these two teams who are going to the World Cup. I have to mention that over and over again, because this encourages the other teams to also work harder and MAs to invest more in women's football so that their teams can also get such opportunities to compete at CAF.
Thank you so much, Sweetness. Thank you, Sweetness Masango, head of the TSG. And as it stands, it's Ethan Stevens who will be back for second half.
It's a 0-0 scoreline for now between Botswana and Tanzania as we get into the second half here. It's been a watchable game here with the conditions being testing, with the winds being what it is in the windy city. Botswana getting the action underway here in the second half, attacking to the right of your picture, while Tanzania will attack to the left. We saw first half where Tanzania created the better chances, really the much better chances, and had the much memorable moments of minutes in that first half. Botswana still proving stubborn, and for Botswana, Bame Mukime between the sticks was outstanding and need be said. Superb performance we've seen from her. Now, well played forward here, shouldn't cause any problems. Both goalkeepers have judged the ball well and down that superbly when it's balls that have come into the box where they've had to worry about the flight of the ball because of the wind and make the necessary adjustments. They've done that superbly. Have both goalkeepers here, such as that Bame Mukime has had the extra pressure on with the shots that have come in and the chances created by Tanzania that, well, made her performance stand out in this encounter. For Botswana early in this second half is Samuel, who have picked up a knock. He's for 60 ambassadors down in Botswana. Doing this second or first start of this tournament. They come on for a sub period in 7 minutes in the opening game for Botswana. Well, already having a match close time she has in this tournament in one game. Is the lady currently leading the field. With changes that can still be made. The picture coming all the way up at the picture towards the near side, and I wonder whether that injury is a serious one for Sinmado. Well, Sinwell was back on the feet and should be allowed back onto the field in a moment. Up to this point, having a good game is Fatuma Suleimani. Picked up a slight knock in the midsection as the Simba Queens player. Oh, knee to the midsection. A pain understandable as she crashes into Radia Gagno, the captain of Botswana. Or rather crashed into her, maybe I should say, in all fairness. Now, worked into the top of the box here. Botswana looking to line up a shot. Oh, solid challenge coming in once again then from the impressive Fatuma Suleimani. So, set piece it is here for the Botswanans. Oh, well, they have good numbers pushed forward, and in the end, the young ladies then can't get to a point where they can compete aerially with Jat Idrissa. Well, the Botswana ladies expected that decision to go their way. Not to be in the end, it will be a throw-in for Tanzania, who look to push afield here. Well, once we saw Tanzania play a good game of football using their width, here they are needing a bit of skill on this near side, lost their footing at a crucial point, and just as she had bought herself a bit of time and space, Fatuma once again, Suleimani continuing to impress. There she is with the touch into touch on that occasion. The Simba Queens player, during her second start of the tournament, had played 64 minutes of the opening match, during up to 51 minutes in this encounter, and counting, and also having quite an influence out there. Doing a good job, Tanzania, defensively, of not allowing Botswana any space to look into serving up the cross from this near side to a point where they ran out of phases, so to speak, with the ball going out for the goal kick. Still, it's Botswana who seemed to have used that halftime break to talk about all things going forward here. That's the area where they seem to have mostly improved, playing a brand of football that's much more attack-minded, spending so much more time in the opposition half of the field. I've been keeping an eye on the flags here, trying to work out the wind situation. But Botswana again pushing forward here. The ball in, header! Nowhere near enough power to trouble Najat Idrissa. No problems in picking it out. So it looks as though the wind is going from right to left. In fact, those flags are anything to go by here, meaning Tanzania should be playing with the wind in their backs here, which was the scenario earlier on in the day when Malawi, of course, were in the second half of their game going from right to left. They seemed much stronger, but I'll tell you what, it's Botswana that have hit the ground running here in the second half in just the way of the general play. So Tanzania looking to now coming into the game more with, the use of a captain on the ball for one, who she usually gets them going. was the Tanzanian captain, Amina Bilali. It was impressive to watch. Is the younger princess wearing the number 4 in the back. Now, ball in. And Tanzania looking for their first chance of this half. And wow, that wasn't too far off. Very well struck. And wide of the mark. In the end from Msewa. And Msewa plays for Fountain Gate back in Tanzania. It was nicely set up then. The striker with back to goal then for Msewa. Has enjoyed a 90-minute spell in this tournament already. As Msewa, as Botswana pushed forward and the keeper stayed brave then as the two players came into each other. They will quickly call for the stretcher here with the worry on the young lady from Botswana, Abueng, who has come off second worst in this clash. Can't fault the keeper much for her action, if at all, here in this coming together. Both with their eye on the ball. And the momentum may be favoring Najat Idrissa. And, well, we hope Abueng will be able to continue with the game here. Is for PDF back in Botswana. Well, we can only hope she's back on the field sooner rather than later. No worries at all then for Najat Idrissa. Again, one can't fault the JKT Queens player much yet for her involvement in that. She had come up with that save early on, keep in mind. Turned into a much busier half of football for her, especially in these early stages. And what she had experienced with this much time gone by in the first half. I can tell you, just behind the goal then. And Abueng is still getting attention. The good sign is she is sitting up, which is an encouraging sign indeed. Friends and family watching on would, of course, be desperately waiting for the update. Can't tell you she's back up on her feet on her own without any assistance and walking towards the corner flag. You could just see a glimpse of her in the picture a moment ago then. So all seems well with Abueng. The challenge out to the far side at the expense of a corner. The 10 ladies of Botswana remaining as stubborn as ever. As Halfetoge doesn't allow the opponent Afetoge out on the far side or to turn her, so to speak. Surname literally means you don't turn. If my translation is anything to go by it. Perfect surname for a defender. One hour of football in this Group C encounter. Tough Group C encounter. This is turning into a grueling battle between these two sides as come and gone. And, well, we look forward to another, half hour in the battle between these two sides and trying to break each other down. Very watchable match nonetheless if you are just joining us. May look at the scoreline, but I can't tell you with the conditions being what they are and these two sets of ladies showing the grit they have so far in this match. It's made for an enjoyable afternoon of football. Nice turn, great movements. Now, are Tanzania to create a chance, their first of this second half. It's been Botswana that have created the moments. Again, Botswana so well organized defensively, just pushing Tanzania away from the danger area. They are finding the triangles and pushing forward nicely on that far side. So the final delivery, which is disappointing. Yamila, the defender then. Disappointing with the final outlet then for Tanzania. She plays for Alliance FC. Back home. Yamila. Walking it off here is Oppa Tukumbuge. Corner for Tanzania will be an outswinger. Good numbers 24 inside that box. Corner lacking in quality, really. No pressure kept on that corner defense. Another outswinger. 6 in the box here. Inequality with the ball played in. Looks much better this time around. And the header! Finds Fame Mugime at her very best. Although that may have been going slightly wide of the mark, she couldn't be sure, couldn't take any chances. Good header, down low. Keeper gets down low impressively. Not only coming up with the save, but holding on to it as well. Yes, it looked as though it was going wide of the mark. Desperate times. Up next, of course, a battle, serious battle against Malawi in a repeat of the final. Malawi themselves came up against Botswana in their opening game, couldn't walk away with 3 points, had to settle for the draw. And, Tanzania marched beyond Comoros in the game later on that day. Tanzania's turn here against Botswana. They're finding it going equally as tough as Malawi did. Now Malawi picking up the win plus goals against Comoros, outscoring what Tanzania did. So Tanzania under a bit of pressure here, not knowing what the result will be against Malawi when they do face them. But the look of it, by the time we get into the game, it will be a winner takes all type scenario in finishing top of the group and qualifying for the semi-finals. And again, you still can't rule Botswana out the equation. It'll be interesting going into that last round of matches from this group, with Botswana still to play the Comoros. So, all far from lost. With the situation as it is. Problems here for yet another of the Botswana ladies. Huitimang Tlamma on the far side, struggling. Also plays for BDF, enjoying her second start of the tournament. Will leave on a stretcher, hopefully to return soon, which we've already seen in this tournament. Went in for the challenge and looked as though she hurt herself. She is getting treatment just outside of the field towards the top right of your picture. We are approaching the last 20 in this game. One begins to get the feeling if there is to be a goal scored, that could very well turn out to be a winning goal scored. So few have been the chances here in the second half. So we spoke about the situation here with Malawi, of course, having played 2 on 4 points. They'll be equal on points with Tanzania. If things stay this way in this match, keep in mind Malawi, of course, did score goals, plenty of them, earlier today against the Comoros. Tanzania managed just 3 against the Comoros, whilst Malawi ran away with that particular match, scoring 6 or 5. I should say, clearing it up. Played to a 1-1 scoreline with Botswana. Did Malawi, when Botswana proved difficult and stubborn in that match, they've once again proven difficult and stubborn in this match against the Tanzanians. So there'll be a lot to play for going into that last round of fixtures. So much to play for. Changes that could still be made. Problem for the coaches with every match played. When we go into the second half at round about this point in the game, the Botswana ladies seem to physically be reaching their max as they do go down on a more regular basis. But that's not only in this match, it need be said, and it's not only Botswana. we've seen that in many of the matches where in the last 20 or so minutes, the physical side of the game just seems to take a toll on the players. And as the challenges come, the more they stay down for longer and the more chancy they are to get up. Now, Tanzania looking for the opening on the far side, and defender doing enough to make the task a tough one. Maybe the better option would have been to look for one of the three teammates inside of the box. Williamina, frustrated with herself. Mentioned earlier, she plays for Alliance FC. Couple of goals she's scored in the opening game, which could see her, of course, wanting to add to that. Proper battle on the far side. Referee allowing them to get on with it in the end. Then Mwamagamba was the lady that won the battle. Now, Botswana with a chance to deliver the cross, but in the end, there's too many touches. There's no. Have to send in the cross earlier. Cheaply given away here by Tanzania. Botswana then look to force an error here in the communication and understanding defensively. It's worked out here for Tanzania nonetheless. On the first touch, Fatuma keeping it moving as the challenges continue coming in here. Well, tough day at the office. So we'll say anybody that comes across this Botswana side, tough day at the office. So the side could force the issue here if they want to have it forced upon them. Another change will be made here for Botswana, where Abueng will be making way. Coming on in a place, Utengonang. So Utengonang comes on. Adding to the number of double action players. Good work, good hustle on the far side. Fatima. Get moving down the line impressively by Tanzania till it's all read and dealt with defensively on an equally impressive level from Bailete. Yes, Fatima. Early this time with the ball in towards that box. That's well done defensively, although the clearance leaves room for improvement. Follow-up shots was nowhere near the standard necessary to cause problems for the opposition. Well, he will be making a change of his own. Is the Tanzanian coach Bagari. In the meantime, he's outside to have a set piece in an area of the field here that, if the ball is struck well, could see them getting the difference they are looking for here in this match. So, Tanzania will be making the change here. Bahira will make way. On a yellow card is Krista Bahira, so no surprise to see her coming in. Tangamwini, the lady just on, by the way, for the Tanzanians. Now, with the dead ball, can't get it over the wall. Stands firm from a Botswana point of view. Moving the ball rather well here on the Tanzanians with Violet Mwamakamba involved. Yes, she is on the ball again as they look to keep it moving. Katunzi now. Over to this near side with Nali. Keeping it moving. There's Amina Bilali.